This is Sports Weekly. Hello and welcome back to Sports Weekly. It is Super Bowl week, as you can tell. I've got my Nick Foles shirt on because
he's a Michigan
I don't
State
like
fan.
the Patriots.
Oh, I thought it was for Michigan State because, green and white, Foles. That's how I took
because
it.
Foles played a lot for Michigan State.
8 passes.
All right. Anyway, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about today. Obviously, the Super Bowl. The XFL's back. We got some stuff on that. And plenty other things. NBA drama, NBA trades.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It's week 10. It's our 10th episode we've been doing this. And we've got everything covered, obviously, except for college football and baseball, because neither are going on right now. Mm-hmm. So we're going to kick it off with some college basketball, where there's a different headline every night. Such a great season. Dylan, you want to start us off?
Sure. So UNC, they've really been struggling lately. I've talked about them in the past. They lost a couple more games last weekend. One of those was to Virginia Tech, another to NC State. And besides Luke May, they are shooting 35% from the three. They're really just lacking some shooting out there. And really, I just don't think they have the playmaking to be in the shooting to be able to make a tournament run this year.
Yeah, see, I've only watched one UNC game, and it was the game when they played Michigan State, and they shot like 8% from three or whatever that was.
Yeah,
and
that
so
was a very rough
I
game.
thought that was going to be a fluke, but clearly, as you're saying, no one's shooting over like 30%. So, wow, the shooting woes have not gotten any better since the beginning of the season.
All right, in the Big 12, they're a great conference, but they keep beating each other right now, and Kansas is really looking to take advantage. They have 4 unranked games before taking on West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech all in a row starting on February 17th. So we're definitely going to be watching out for those games, but Kansas looking to come in hot and win all 3 of those.
I might be in Kansas on that week. I'm trying to go for my last college visit. Maybe I'll catch one of those games. But
that would be crazy.
West Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, those are, yes, that's hard for Kansas, but that's such great basketball to watch. That's going to be 3 great games. That's awesome.
All right, and my last thing, the American isn't getting very much love, but they have a couple of really good teams this season. Cincinnati is number 8, and they've only lost 1 game. They also have Wichita State. Those two will be battling it out for the conference title this year, and Wichita State lost a couple of games past week to SMU and Houston. Cincinnati's undefeated, and neither of those teams play another ranked team until they face off on March 4th. So that's definitely going to be one to watch out for right before the tournament and everything. So those 2 teams battling it out. American not getting much love, but those 2 teams are very good.
Yeah, March 4th, that's right when I at least start getting my Google Doc ready with every tournament where it's from the American to the Southwestern American Conference of the Blind or whatever they're called. I have every conference ready in a list of all the games. So I gotta love March, but we're still 1 month away. Let's go to the Big Ten champs. I think they might have already crowned it. No, we're going to find out soon, but Purdue has had 2 tests since the beginning of December, both coming against Michigan, as we know. Boilermakers escaped both, winning by a combined 5 points. The back-to-back games on February 7th and February 10th against Ohio State and Michigan State will decide the Big Ten title race. There's not a clear spot for Purdue to lose otherwise, so that week we're going to see really who's the Big Ten favorite. Then you said the next week's the Big 12. Then the next week is the American. So this is when college basketball is just so great. There's never a night where you don't at least have a decent college basketball game.
Yeah, and Purdue and IU last weekend. Yeah. Unfortunate for the Hoosiers.
Coincidentally, don't have your IU pullover on today.
Yeah, IU was they hung in there, but it's tough when Juwan Morgan's your tallest guy out there trying to guard Isaac Haas.
7'4" Matt Harms they're both crazy. Number 2, Trey Ball, Lonzo or Trae Young. It's college. We'll go with Trae Young. All right, he has had the quietest week of his season, averaging 21.5 points and 8.5 assists against Kansas and Alabama. That's quiet for him. It's 21.5 and 8.5 assists. That's how productive he's been. Oklahoma now lost 3 of its past 4 and 4 straight road games. I talked about Oklahoma, I feel like every other week. They need a bounce back. I watched every minute of that Oklahoma-Alabama game, and they just did not have the same fire Alabama did. They didn't come out with it. And Trae Young, the defense call and section play on him was unreal. They're going to have to find another option if someone locks up Trae Young.
Yeah, Oklahoma struggling a little bit, but they're still, I think, tied for second right now in the Big 12. So.
And number 3, don't sleep on me. Kentucky finally getting back in the rankings, you assume, after the crazy losses they had. They fell for the first time in a while. Then they upset West Virginia. That's now 4 losses in 5 games for West Virginia, and they have blown a double-digit second half lead in 3 of them. The Mountaineers are having the same issues they've had in recent years. This is, like I said, I think when we talked about it a few weeks ago, this just feels like the same West Virginia team. They're not making shots. They have no ball pressure or any type of full court pressure. And since they can't press, they don't get any turnovers. And then when they have to play in the half-court defense, they struggle and they give up too many points. And Javon Carter might be one of the best guards in the country, but he can't lock up, score all 5 positions. So he's got to get help. And West Virginia, I thought this might be the year they break out, but this just feels like another Mountaineer basketball team.
Yeah, but a big win for Kentucky, though. Kevin Knox had a huge game, and hopefully for them, that can really propel them back and get them some momentum going into March.
Hopefully, I mean, it'd be kind of crazy if Kentucky didn't make the March Madness.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they will now, especially with that win, but it'd just be such like a different look if Kentucky didn't even have a chance to upset people.
Yeah, all right, that's going to do it today for March Madness. We will see you in just a minute for Around the Association. All right, we're back for Around the Association.
Energy, Dylan, energy.
It's a sad time.
No, it's not.
It's a very
The
sad
real team in LA is officially back on top. We don't have to be sad.
On top, I mean...
Yeah. You're telling me the Clippers are better than the Lakers still? No way. No way.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, if you guys haven't heard, Blake Griffin was traded to the Detroit Pistons earlier this week in exchange for Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, and a first-round pick.
And a second rounder.
No.
There you go.
All right, sure.
Your woes can all be gone.
Oh, yes. Blake Griffin, gone. Clipper for 9 years, and just trade him away in the first year of a 5-year contract.
But
Just
hey,
very sad.
You hung up his jersey in the rafters. You made him a shirt with all these legends, all for half a season. Typical Clippers.
In all seriousness, though, he should get his jersey in the rafters at some point.
What did he do for the Clippers?
He brought
3
them
second-round
back.
exits? Yes.
He brought them back to relevance.
If they retire Blake Griffin's number, oh my goodness, there's no way. Blake Griffin. If you would have gotten at least like the finals once, I'll give it to you.
Still, I mean, the things he did for that franchise brought them out of the depths.
I'd say CP3 before him.
I think they both should.
And DeAndre?
Maybe.
I mean, I would give
Depends
it
on
to DeAndre. He's the only Clipper in franchise history that's played over 10 years with the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, I think that definitely Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, depending on if DeAndre stays, him too.
What is a weird time in the NBA with the Lob City. They had such exciting games and such letdowns, whether it was injuries or, I mean, whatever it was. The era's officially over now, and it's on to the next one with the Clippers. But let's talk about the Lake Show, shall we? That's my first point in the NBA. After starting the season 0-8 with games without Lonzo Ball, I know we talked about it, they need Lonzo. The Lakers have gone 4-1 in games without their rookie point guard. Before Sunday's loss in Toronto, LA had won 5 straight games against the Eastern Conference by an average margin of 11.6 points. Their longest streak since when? 2012 and 2013, when they last made the playoffs. So the Lake Show, even with this trade now, best team in LA. Number 2. Back to reality. Not the Clippers, the Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis has shot less than 40% inside the paint in the month of January, the worst in the NBA among the 116 players with more than 50 attempts. The Knicks sit 4 games out of the number 8 spot in the Eastern Conference and will have to win on the road to keep themselves in contention. New York plays 10 of its next 16 away from the Garden and has the 5th worst record in the NBA. So, I remember we talked about it. With the Knicks going to be in the playoffs? They were in it for a while. Not with Kristaps shooting like that. Number 3, second half team. Your Pacers on Saturday won for the third time this season after overcoming a 20-point deficit. That's tied for the most wins after trailing by 20 in a single season in the past 20 years. So if they make it to the playoffs, don't worry about that first half. It's all about the second half.
Yeah, Pacers have had some crazy second half comebacks this year, and luckily they just keep coming back one of these times. It's definitely going to catch up to them, though. My first thing, Pelicans, they lost a big man, too.
Yeah.
Not to trade, but DeMarcus Cousins is done for the season with a torn Achilles, I believe. He had 25 points and 13 rebounds per game this year, and they're definitely going to have an interesting deadline. If they don't make a trade by the time this one comes out, they've probably got to make some sort of trade. I mean, their only big men are really Anthony Davis and Omer Ashik behind him, so
I don't see them making a trade. I wouldn't. I'd stay pat, cut your losses, because you don't want to trade for even a guy like George Hill and take in more money and then have Boogie leave, and now you just have 3 expensive guys taking up space. But you also don't want to rebuild and get rid of a guy like Anthony Davis for a bunch of picks, and then you have no chance of getting Cousins. And so I would just stay pat, ride it out, and then make that decision in the offseason.
yeah, Pelicans in a tough spot right now. But in other news for the Bucks, Jabari Parker is back this Friday. He is cleared to play in his first game and since tearing his ACL a year ago, I believe. And if he's back to his true form and can knock down some threes for the Bucks, they could make a little bit of noise in the playoffs because really the one thing they struggle with is knocking down the 3 balls right now. If Jabari can help them out with that, they could really make some noise, I think.
I absolutely love Jabari Parker at Duke. I thought he would be a transcendent star, and really, he has not been able to live up to it due to injuries. I'm concerned. I'm not sure it's as big as we want it to be almost. I think we're hyping up this return on Friday like it's going to be this altering next star maybe, but I've got to see him play healthy. I haven't seen very much of Jabari when he's been 100% healthy, so hopefully he gets back to that. And I hope he does. I hope he gets back to what he looked like at Duke and absolutely takes the league by storm.
All right, last thing. You mentioned the Knicks. They've also got some trouble in player relations. Joakim Noah apparently has some big disagreements with the Knicks right now, especially with Coach Jeff Hornacek. And his contract is just huge. 4 years, $56 million, I believe, left on that thing. And he doesn't even play in games right now. So,
yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do with him?
Yeah, when you pay a guy that much money, the original contract, 4 years, $72 million, and I mean, the contract in and of itself was baffling from the beginning. A guy that's numbers were declining for the last 3 years before the contract, you throw this much money at. It never made sense, but now the Knicks in a whole lot of hurt.
All right, that's all we've got for Around the Association today. We will see you in just a minute for XFL Super Bowl and more with Friday Night Football. Welcome back to Friday Night Football. And before we get to some Super Bowl stuff, the XFL is back. Vince McMahon agreed to bring the XFL back in 2020. And are you excited, Jason?
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge Demons fan. I have all the players' jerseys from a while ago. I'm all in on the Demons this year. San Fran Demons, this is how it's going to be. This is 49ers, right? They have Garoppolo. Yeah, not for long. 2020, he's going to be asked to be cut. Coming over to the Demons. It's going to be a quarterback controversy between Garoppolo and Manziel. Manziel wins it out, leads them to the playoffs, goes down. Garoppolo wins them the championship. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. This right here, see this? Johnny Football, right? Johnny Football. Jimmy Garoppolo, put them together. Championship. I'm all in on the Demons, baby. Let's go, XFL. Have this back now.
All right. Johnny Football is going to make it in the league first, though. Vince McMahon said that anyone with an arrest record will not be allowed, so hopefully they let Johnny in. I'm rooting for him to be in.
Yeah,
but hopefully he can get it. Of course, we got this gear from Mr. Panasek, our filmer and editor here today. He played in the XFL as a kicker for the Demons, and he's excited for the return also.
He's a game-winning kick. Go check it out on YouTube. I've watched it. Great moment, and like I said, go Demons.
All right, now let's move on to the Super Bowl. We've got a lot of Super Bowl stuff to talk about. Patriots and Eagles. Nick Foles. Who do you think wins MVP? I've got
Not
Foles.
Nick Foles. I'm going with who else than TB12? Tom freaking Brady. He is so good. This game, I think Patriots come out on top, and it's only because of TB12. The defense has not been as good as it usually has been in past years, and I don't know if Gronk's going to play. He probably will, but even if he does or doesn't, it's all going to come down to Brady's right arm and his hand, believe it or not. And I think Brady gets it done and secures himself of the GOAT of GOATs.
All right, I'm going with Foles. Got the shirt on here. I think he gets it done for the Eagles and has a big game. The Patriots defense, like you said, been struggling this year a little bit. What do you think is the biggest X factor for this game, though?
Jay. It's got to be. If he can run the ball, I think that the Eagles are going to put themselves in a good position. If he gets bottled up like he has been, I'm not sure it's going to be enough. They're going to have to get this running game going, something that the teams they've played have struggled to do. Remember Derrick Henry balling out against the Chiefs? He plays the Titans and plays the Patriots, was basically non-existent. Leonard Fournette didn't do anything special. He didn't have a bad game, though, against the Patriots. And so now the X Factor's got to be Jay Ajayi.
All right, I'm going to go with turnovers. The Eagles forced a couple of big turnovers in the first half against Minnesota and rode that momentum all the way to a 38-7 victory. If they can do the same against the Patriots, they are going to be in business. They can capitalize off those turnovers and create themselves some momentum in the same way. Eagles get this done.
I'd bet you that doesn't happen.
All right. Best prop bet, though. Jason, what do you have?
Who will the Super Bowl MVP mention first in his speech? Want to hear the odds? His teammates, 2-1. God, 4-1. The city and the fans, 5-1. His coach, 7-1. The owner, 10-1. Family, 16-1. And none of the above, 2-1.
All right.
Do we think we'll see another Papa John's move?
Ooh. I mean, that wasn't really
Budweiser?
That wasn't really in the...
It was
Was it the first one?
Yeah, it was into Peyton. They asked him, and they saw him hugging Papa John's, and he goes, I'm just going to relax and drink a Budweiser, something like that. So, potential that we see it.
Okay, my pick out of that, though, I'm taking either God at 4-1 or the city at 5-1. I think those are both solid bets.
I'm rolling with the teammates. I think this is how it starts. I couldn't have done it without my teammates, and you got to thank God and the owner, and then I think it goes into all of it. But I think it starts off.
Owner,
you've got to
coach.
thank my teammates. I think it's how it starts.
And
So
we have some breaking news, actually. Nick Foles ran a 5.1 40-yard dash at the Combine. So, you think he gets it done on the ground at all?
No, not at all. There's just no way. I'm telling you, I think you led right into the pick. I'm going with the Patriots 24-13. I think Jake Elliott has a long day. Or just a long day of kicking.
And Mr. Panicek tells us that we could run a 5.05 40, beating out Nick Foles.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't think anything has to do with Nick Foles' running game. It has to come down to the Eagles' running game. I think the defense of the Patriots locks them down. Patriots 24-13. TB12, the GOAT of GOATs.
I don't think Nick Foles needs to get it done on the ground because the Eagles' defense locks up, especially with Gronk not 100%. If he's not out there and ready to go, Eagles' defense is going to lock up. I think they get it done 30-24. Patriots try to make a comeback late, but the Eagles stop them, and Nick Foles is too good for the Patriots.
This kid. What are we going to do with him, guys? Feel free to drop any comments below on Dylan's Foles shirt that he got just for today. Not a Nick Foles fan, but you know what? I respect it. You don't have a Demons helmet like I do. Where's your Eagles helmet? Just saying. All right. It'll be a fun Super Bowl for sure. Feel free to comment, like I said. Tweet at us at the Sports Sermon, Sports with a Z. And now we're going to go into Soarin Sports at Guerin Catholic.
All right. Welcome back to Soarin Sports at Guerin Catholic. And boys basketball last weekend had a big win on Friday against Lafayette Central Catholic. They ended that game on a 16-0 run and got the win 75-60. Girls played before that but couldn't come out with a win. And after that, it was a big fun night for Survive Till Sunrise for the Guerin Catholic students.
Yeah, it was fun but tiring. I slept the whole
Yeah.
next day. I was so tired. But, it was a great night. And now, looking forward, what do we have in the basketball world? Unfortunately, we record this Tuesday, so I do not have the results of the girls' sectional game. I'm assuming they beat Brebeuf. They didn't. It wasn't close the first time, so I'm going to assume they won, so congratulations to them. And then I don't know what happened in their next game if they did advance, so in that regards, good luck to them. But for the guys, on Thursday, they played Cecina. Obviously, I don't know the result of that. We hope they pull that one out. But then Saturday's the big one versus North Central, the first time. Both coaches are very good friends on the court, or off the court, but I've heard they get pretty chippy when they're on the court together. 1:40 is the start time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Saturday.
it's an early Saturday game. No Friday game this week.
Yep, early bird special here at Guerin Catholic. 1:40. It'll be a great game. So that's what we've got going on in the basketball world.
Yeah, and that's all we've got today here on Sports Weekly. Again, feel free to comment down below on the video. If you're watching this on the broadcast, tweet at us at GC Broadcasting or at the Sports Sermon Sports with a Z. And that's all we got today.
Yep, week 10 is a wrap. We'll see you week 11.
This is Sports